All right, what's up, everyone? Here we are, hump day, August 10th, finishing up solidly green, 420 bucks. Trading CLWT and NVTA and a couple trades on BCAB, and took some losses as well off the top. So CLWT, I got pre-market. I was about break even with all of these trades. Just didn't really work out how I wanted it to. So I would take one step forward, take a 5-cent win or so, and then I would give it back, and then have a nice little win, and then give it back. So nothing really, connected pre-market. But at the open, got a nice dip and rip. Not even a dip and rip. It just kind of held the support down in here and then ripped up, and I got the nice breakout, micro pullback under 250, and then breakout of 250, which I was able to, in one trade, I made over 200 bucks in one trade. And then I scalped for the rest of that profit up to 345. Actually, I was up to 380, and then gave some off the top, which is okay. And that was it on CLWT. And actually, I can show you that live trade in a video in a second. And then I took my break and then came back at 3. I traded NVTA at 3 o'clock after coming back. And man, this thing ripped. And I wish I would have capitalized on more, but I just didn't trade the size that I want to be trading. At some times I was taking 400 to 500 shares, which is decent share size. That would be around between $2,000 and $3,000 position size, but nowhere near I want to be. I want to be doing at least 1,000 shares for NVTA. It's just that, it's really hard just mentally to, I'm nicely green on the day. I was up 350, walking away at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock from the morning. And then, I took my 2 to 3 hour break, went to the gym, ate lunch, blah, blah, blah. And I come back and mentally, in the back of my head, it's like, I don't want to give back profits. It hurts so much more to give back profits than to add a little bit off onto the top. So that's just the kind of emotional push and pull, kind of dealing with, when you do come back for power hour. And sometimes it is worth it. Sometimes you can add a little profit onto the top. A lot of the times it does. I do come out green after coming back for trading power hour. So it's not like it's not worth it for me to come back. Usually I am green. It's just, if I were to take that $5,000, $6,000 position size on NVTA and then take a 20-cent loss, which as this stock has some range, so you could really lose 10 or 20 cents in an instant. I would be down to 150 on the day, and if it was a 20-cent winner, I'd be up potentially 600 on the day, which I'm weighing out those options. I'm like, wow, if I actually gave back 200 off the top from the morning that I made, I would feel a hell of a lot worse than I would feel good if I did add that 200 on top to the 600. So I think the idea is just, for me, what works is just staying small size, not be risking the profits that I made in the morning. Unless I'm red, of course. If I came into this red being down like $100 or so, yeah, I would definitely probably push it. It just comes from a different frame of reference or perspective. But if I'm already nicely green above the daily goal, I don't know if I want to push my share size coming into the close after coming back, because it would suck. It would suck so much more if I did take a nice big L on NVTA, which was a little bit choppy at times, but there was definitely clean moves. I was able to get green. So the idea is, I did push my share size this morning on CLWT, and so that's what I'm going to keep doing. Is just, when I'm ready to push my share size, I'm going to keep it between 7 a.m. and about 11 a.m. And then if I do come back for power hour, stick to small size, or I can get a cushion. Say I have a couple trades and I'm up maybe $50 on the day, then I can roll that $50 and risk that on the next trade. And then if I win, maybe I'm up $100, and then I roll that in, risk $100 for $200 into the next trade. I can kind of do that, but that obviously takes a lot of skill. You got to be able to know how much you're actually risking, because sometimes you'll be taking a trade thinking you're risking $100, and then you end up taking the trade and it's down. You cut it twice as low as you thought it was going to go, or maybe you just got unlucky and got caught a flush, or you just mismanaged the range of the stock. So it's really hard to gauge how much you're really risking when you're taking a trade, especially if you're not having any sort of hard stops, which I don't trade with hard stops at all. Wow, NVTA is rolling over. Would have been a really good short up here. It is easy to borrow. But yeah, I didn't. That was it for NVTA. I can show you pretty much just like scalping a couple cents, making a couple cents. I think my biggest trade was up here, was here at 760, kind of riding it up to 776, but I still left so much more meat on the bone there. But crazy percent gainer. I didn't really capitalize as much as I wanted to. I didn't really let my winners run as much as I wanted to. And yeah, I mean, I think I was just a little bit scared of giving back profits, and that's just something that holds me back. And at least I'm conscious of that, and I'm working towards bettering that. But at least I did trade it small size, and so in the future when my share size is bigger, let's say I'm trading this morning, let's say I'm trading 3,000 share position sizes, these small sizes would come out to maybe 500 share increments or 750 shares versus 100 or 200 shares, and the small size will be bigger relatively. So that's just kind of the idea I'm kind of grappling with. It's just about managing your risk, and you don't want to give back profits. That's really the thing. It comes with perspective as well. Are you willing to risk the profits you made in the morning, and you got to be willing to accept that, versus maybe you're red coming into this. If you're red coming into that, it's a completely different perspective. Maybe I would have taken 1,000 shares on this because I was red and I really had nothing to lose and this was moving. So that's just a completely different perspective. So who knows? I mean, maybe I'm just being a baby. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wimping out here. I really could have taken that size, and I could be up almost $1,000 on the day, because could have been the stock. It made that type of move. So I can show you here CLWT, the trade that I made. Pre-market, I was break even, but at the open, I can show you it's quite nice, if I say so myself. So here, CLWT, here is the recording. So here we open up and we kind of hold this range here. It's underneath the pre-market high, so it's technically not on the front side. Still, it's kind of now in a range. Now we pop back up, but I'm waiting for a second, because a lot of these times in this first 1 minute candle, the stock will pop up and then it'll immediately flip red and you'll be down. Before you even know it, you'll be down 10 cents, struggling to get out, just hitting sell market. It's happened so many times to me. So that's why I'm extra patient, waiting for the clear hold over the 9 EMA and over the pre-market high. Because now that if we hold over the pre-market high, now that's considered the front side is now back in play. So here we see holding, and then a bunch of sellers come in, flash of sellers come in, and we start selling lower and lower. So I'm like, all right, let's just hold off. Let's not get too happy and aggressive here. Let's not get too antsy and get in prematurely. So we're now still below that level, so I'm going to be extra patient. Now I see a bunch of green on the tape, and let me bring down the volume just so you don't hear those ringing noises. So a bunch of green on the tape, and now the candle is going from red to green. Now I'm looking for that break back over this red line, which is the close of the pre-market high, and a reclaim of the wick. Sold a little bit early there, but I do get back in. The first 2 minutes are very volatile, so that's why I tend to sell my winners really quick in case there's like a false move. So now we're back over towards 230, reclaiming this wick. So this is bullish. So I put in my starter. Take again real quick. So that was about 5 cents. 5 cents on a $2 stock is nice. We go again now, flash of green. Look at all these buyers. And bidders are stepping up, overtaking the ask. Take another starter at 36. And this thing just moves really quick. I wanted to add into the high. Well, I do take profits because it's a little bit extended on the 1 minute. I do take profits actually going into this breakout, because we're a little bit extended on the 1 minute. I didn't want to risk of the double top, so I took some off. And then maybe we'd see a 1 minute pullback and then a rip through. But, it's very risky to be adding aggressively here because you never know if it's just going to double top. So that's why, I still like to keep a starter position. And then if it does rip through, I'm still in it. And then I could add to a position on pullback. Or if it pulls back, which likely happens a lot, it does a double top, pulls back real quick, micro pullback, and then runs. Then you can add. But there immediately just goes up. Immediately just breaks out and goes up to 250. And I add, and I'm just hitting buy market, but I got filled all the way up here at 49 and 48. But since we gapped up to 250, I think what I'm seeing correctly is it's not that there is... it's just that we're hitting a block of sellers here at 250. It's not that the momentum is gone, even though it did pull back 8 cents. So that's why I'm still holding. Even though I did get in high, my average is 247. Now I'm red for 2,000 shares. But my banking is on a quick micro pullback and then a break through 250 because there's just a wall of sellers kind of holding it down for temporarily. So it'll test that level, that 250 is psychological level, pull back, and then rip through. Here we go, micro pullback under a key psychological level. Huge volume here on that second candle on that breakout. So first 1 minute pullback after a fresh breakout on high volume. I even added to the position. And then here we go, break at 250, sell, 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 sell. Selling at 53, 54, 57, 58. Now we're a bit extended, so now it's about, I was up 285 after that. So it's a pretty good trade there for the share size that I was using. So then here we had that topping wick. I did try to buy the dip there, but I sold some for about break even, and then it kind of reclaimed that wick, so I kind of sold on that reclaim. And then from here, I'm just buying the dips and selling the pop. Buying the dip, selling the pop. Here, I got in at 44. I thought there'd be support at the 90 MA, and I did. I cut it because it just took too long for the bounce, and then it ended up falling through. I got back in, small share size this time. It's at 250 shares. Maybe we would see a nice strong green candle. The volume is not excessively high. It's not all the way up to high day volume, so potential, but that bounce never comes through. Yeah. Never quite comes through. And so I was kind of anticipating the reversal here after the reclaim of the VWAP, but just too many sellers, too much resistance. So, and then from there, it's just kind of done. All right, and that was CLWT after all those dip buys and all of those, and that breakout and that micro pullback under 250 was up 345. So solid step in the right direction for being confident when I was in full size and being confident when I was down 5 cents off of my entry after I got in at 247. Definitely a sign of growth that I was willing to hold that $6,000 position when I was down 5 cents. And then waiting for the technicals to show me resolution on that break of 250, and I trusted my gut. And so that's a good sign that I'm being able to maneuver with this bigger share size. And so now it's just about continually hitting that boundary, that mental boundary within myself, pushing that share size just a little bit farther, until I get new biggest green day, new biggest month, new biggest green week, etc., etc. It's just about baby steps. I'm just taking baby steps. I don't know if I can just go from 0 to 100, because just the emotions, can completely alter my trading strategy and how I execute my trades. When you're taking bigger share size, mentally you're more attached to the trade, so you're cutting your winners too short because you want to take that profit. And then you're holding on to those losers a little bit too long because you're in so big that you need it to work out, or else it's going to be a big fat loss and you never cut it. And then you're taking a huge loss, the biggest loss you'd ever have. And so to avoid that issue, the trick is for me is just to incrementally, maybe 10% at a time, just pushing it a little bit farther, just kind of squeezing in that last ad before the breakout, that last fifth share size that you can add at the last minute for that breakout can really make a difference with you sizing up. And that's just kind of my mentality right now. I like to trade with a lot of increments, like a lot of trades, so a lot of buy orders, a lot of sell orders. So, instead of one bulk order of 1,000 shares, I'll do 500 share increments, or 4 250 share increments a lot if I'm looking for a bigger move. If it's a scalp, I'll just do straight one buy, one sell on maybe 500 shares. But if I'm looking for a bigger move, like I'll put in a starter at 250, kind of feel out the tape, feel out the level 2, feel out the momentum. If it's holding up and it's working in my favor, then that's when I start adding 250. And then I can kind of scale out and kind of manage my risk as the trade is unfolding. Because, sometimes you'll get that double top at the breakout. And if that's the case, you can take some profits off, maybe sell from, maybe you're in 1250 for that breakout, 1250 shares for the breakout, but you see it's struggling to break out at the top. There's a big wall of sellers. Maybe you can quickly sell 250 increments, 250 increments, and that's your share size. Now you're down to 750 holding, and it kind of pulls back a little bit, but you're managing your risk on that pullback because you took some profits, so you're still kind of in the green. And then as it's showing some more confirmation on that quick micro pullback, or if it's a 1 minute pullback underneath the high, then you can add on that pullback on the signs of support. And then maybe you're now in 1,500 shares, and then maybe you can add, another 3 increments right before that breakout of the highs, and then you're in 2,000 shares for the extension up. So that's kind of like how I have been adapting to managing my risk while I'm in a trade, and it works out really well. However, the problem is you're having so many orders, and TOS, you're only allowed to have 390 orders on average by the end of the month. If you're doing over that, then they start charging you $2 every trade, every round trip trade, I think, or it might be every entry and exit. But yeah, you start getting charged commissions, and so yeah, that can kind of give you a little bit of a problem. But yeah, that's just kind of what I've been doing. Find it easier to manage risk, but to push that share size, maybe I can squeeze in that extra couple hits of that 250 increment, or I can jump to 500 increment, maybe not do scale in and out as much. Maybe do, instead of hitting the 250 button 5 times, I hit the 500 button 3 times. And so that, 5 times this would be, was 1,250, and then hitting this 3 times is still 1,500. So a little bit more, you know, and then if I hit it a couple more times, I'm up to 2,500 versus, you know, it just takes, I'm not going to be able to scale up that much if I'm hitting this, but if I'm only hitting 250 shares. Eventually, you know, if I'd have to hit that 500 button. But yeah, that's just a rant. I mean, I don't even know what I'm talking about. You know, half the time I don't really know consciously how I'm trading. I'm just like feeling into it, which is the best way to be trading. Just gotta develop that trader intuition, and just by observing the market enough, you can develop that intuition to read the price action. Whenever I'm thinking too hard about trading, it just never works out. I just have to feel into the market, you know, feel into that intuition of just, you know, I've watched this action unfold for 2 years, 2.5 years, and just like my brain just knows, just gives me sensations of what is going on, and I can kind of make sense of the intuition, what my intuition is telling me in the stock price, just by, I guess, like just they're like micro sensations in my body telling me to buy and sell. It's a little bit woo woo and a little bit you know, out there, but I believe that is what it's like to be an experienced trader. It's not maybe thinking about the entries and exits, it's about feeling into them, feeling into the market. That seems to be most reliable for me. I'm able to get out before a big flush and, you know, get in before the big run up. So, and that requires a lot of awareness. You can't be coming into the market with just so much like just a jumbled mind mess coming into the market, and just, you know, like have all thinking about all these other things that you have to do, thinking about this and that, and then you're like thinking too hard about where you exit and enter, and so it kind of messes with your strategy. Maybe you're getting in too high now, maybe you're getting in underneath a VWAP, maybe you're getting in on a backside move. So a lot can change if you're not really if you're thinking too much about your trading. And, you know, I'm not really know where I'm going with this here, so we'll just stop talking before this video gets too long. I rant way too much. So that was it on CLWT, NVTA, BCAB. We'll go over this real quick. BCAB, this thing just started ripping up, and I was waiting for better entry, but kind of FOMO'd in at the last seconds. And well, this is break even. So, and then I got in for a quick dip here. It halted up at 650, dipped down to 642. Dipped down to 620. I held my entry at 642. Didn't want to add too much more and average down because I was already in $3,000 position size. So if I got in too big and then it did another red candle, you know, I would just be down way too much. So I didn't average down, but I was confident to see that break at 650, which we did get. But I did add up on the breakout to see some continuation, and we never got it. But small green, BCAB. I think small green, right? Yeah, $28, BCAB. Then it did another breakout. This one here again, I got for the break of 7, about 5 cents. You definitely could have gotten BCAB. It was very thinly traded though, so the range was more like the spreads were a little bit wider and a little bit harder to manage your risk. Just because it was so thinly traded. So that was it. Finishing up $420 on the day. Tomorrow is a new day, and I'm going to come in with the same goal, just pushing my comfort zone incrementally. And I think one day soon, I feel it is coming. I'm going to have a breakthrough, and that's the day that we go and party. I'm going to go party. So, all right, that's it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're green, good job. Also, hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you're not yet a subscriber, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.